This is Marwell Wildlife in Hampshire, England. It was started in 1972, and since then, it has become one of the most popular wildlife parks in the UK. 500,000 people come here every year. They come to visit well-known animals like giraffes, tigers, monkeys and rhinos, as well as more exotic animals like the snow leopard, the Somali wild ass, and the ring-tailed quachi. There are reptiles like this green tree python, and birds like these flamingos. However, Marwell Wildlife is different to other wildlife parks and zoos. It's a charity dedicated to the conservation of different species of animals. Some of these species are endangered, like the gravy zebra, with a population of just over 3,000. And some are near extinction, like the Siberian tiger, which has a population of less than 250, or the Amur leopard, with only 30 pairs of adults left in the wild. For 40 years, staff have brought animals like these to Marwell because their natural habitats, the places they live in, have been destroyed by humans and by climate change. It's a sad fact, but if these animals were left in the wild, they probably wouldn't survive. In Marwell Wildlife, they live and breed safely, and unlike many other zoos and wildlife parks, they have lots of space. However, Marwell Wildlife hasn't always been like this. It used to be smaller and used to have fewer animals. But in the last 20 years, the park has grown from 120 acres to 150 acres. It has become a more open park, where the animals have much more space. Marwell is now home to 235 different species, and in total, 1,200 animals live in the park. If it weren't for Marwell Wildlife's conservation work, many of these animals would be extinct in the wild. Sadly, though, some of them already are. This is the scimitar oryx. They are a type of antelope that used to live all over North Africa. They have always been hunted for their large horns, and now there are none left in the wild. They only live in places like Marwell Wildlife, where they are part of a breeding program. The park hopes that if more oryxes are born, then some might be released back into the wild. They have already done this with some oryxes, which have been released in Tunisia. The oryx breeding program has been a huge success, but there are many other strange and beautiful creatures still in danger. If places like Marwell Wildlife didn't help, many of these amazing animals would die out completely.
This is Gonzalo. He's a photographer. At the moment, he is living and working in New York. Every day, he takes photos of the city and its people. Gonzalo came to New York 2 years ago from Guatemala. He found a job and is now living in the East Village. He has a photography studio in his apartment, and he uses lots of different equipment. Gonzalo loves his life and his work, but he wasn't always a photographer.
I went to school for something completely different. I went to law school. I graduated from law school. I went to UFM. I have a law degree from UFM. But when I graduated, I was not happy with my choice of career.
Gonzalo was working for a newspaper when he decided to become a photographer and moved to the United States. Gonzalo now works as a professional fashion photographer. He uses several different cameras and lenses, but one camera is particularly special.
My first camera actually is this one. I inherited it from my grandfather. He passed away when I was 7 years old. My grandfather was German. This is a German camera. It's a Leica M2. It is still mint condition. I treasure it so much. I barely use it, but I mean, it takes amazing quality photographs still. So.
Today, Gonzalo is taking photographs of a model for a famous fashion website. But Gonzalo likes to photograph, or shoot, lots of different things. What are his favorites?
My favorite things to shoot, it's a very tough question because I shoot a lot of things. I love to shoot portraits. I love to shoot the street. I'm a big sports fan, so I like to shoot sports a lot.
Photography isn't always easy. Gonzalo travels a lot, and at the moment, he is working on 3 different jobs. So why does he enjoy his job?
It entertains me. It distracts me. It stops me from worrying about my everyday troubles or my stress or anything. So I enjoy it. I enjoy it, you know.
For Gonzalo, every day is different. And in a city like New York, there's always something new and exciting to photograph.
New Zealand is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. Over 2 million people come here every year. So why do so many people come to New Zealand? They come for the beautiful scenery, the relaxed atmosphere, and to experience some of the world's most exciting adventure sports. This is Queenstown, on New Zealand's South Island. It's a small town by Lake Wakatipu, surrounded by mountains. It used to be a quiet farming town, but now it's a popular destination for tourists from all over the world who are looking for excitement. This is the Shotover Jet. It's a high-speed jet boat that races through narrow, windy canyons and has been a major attraction in Queenstown since 1970. Queenstown is also home to the bungee jump. This jump on the Kowara Bridge was the first commercial bungee jump in the world. It has been a huge success for almost 30 years, and it has turned Queenstown into the adventure sports capital of the world. Today, visitors to Queenstown can do all kinds of adventure sports. As well as jet boating and bungee jumping, they can go skydiving or even parasailing. But not all visitors to New Zealand want to jump off a bridge or out of a plane. Tourists looking for something a bit more relaxed should travel 1,600 kilometres north to Auckland. Auckland is at the northern tip of New Zealand's North Island. It is between the Tasman Sea and the Hauraki Gulf, so it is the perfect place for sailing. In fact, Auckland is known as the City of Sails. It has more boats per person than any other city in the world, with around 135,000 yachts and motorboats in the city's many marinas. Auckland has hosted the most famous yacht race in the world, the America's Cup, twice. On the first occasion, the New Zealand team won. Auckland is proud of this sailing tradition. Today, tourists can hire the Team New Zealand yacht, worth millions of dollars. They can sail the yacht around the harbour, or sail it towards the ocean to see whales and dolphins. Many international visitors come to New Zealand for its adventure sports. And from Queenstown to Auckland, it's got something for everyone.